I'm joined today by Doug Bibby, President of the National Multi-Housing Council, to look at some of the major issues facing apartment owners today. Obviously, Fannie and Freddie reform is a key issue for the multifamily industry. Where does the stability of these two government-sponsored entities stand today?
Well, I think the fact that the government, right before the Christmas holidays, signaled that they would be standing behind Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac for the full term of the first 4 years of the Obama administration speaks volumes for their stability. They are, in essence, carrying out the housing policy of the United States government and are actually instruments of the government at this stage.
In your work on Capitol Hill regarding these GSEs, what are some of the major issues that you face?
Well, right now the emotions are running so high on both sides of the aisle that makes it a bit problematic. You have a certain faction that would like to see them go away. You have a certain faction that would like to see them used even more deeply in affordable housing. And so you've got a lot of folks who have misconceptions about them, that they caused the housing meltdown, they were responsible for the subprime mess and so on, which is not true. They were actually late to the game in the subprime arena. But as I said, emotions are very high right now, and it makes a calm, thorough, deliberative debate a little harder right now, but we're very hopeful that we'll have that debate.
And what's the timetable for this reform?
This is going to take a long, long time. Let's remember that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have $5 trillion on and off balance sheet. That is not something you can wave a magic wand and have it go away. It's a tremendous amount of capital invested in housing, and it's got to be done very thoroughly and carefully. It's got to take some time.
Fundamentals are a concern across all commercial real estate sectors. What's your view on multifamily?
Certainly, we're under pressure. We've had some weaknesses. We are so vulnerable to jobs and job creation, job growth, and yet we're doing on a relative basis quite well within the real estate sector.
Looking forward, are the changing demographics in this country favoring multifamily owners?
Yeah, there are three things I'd like to bring up in this regard, and one is obviously the impact of the children of the baby boomers, my children, the so-called echo boomers. The numbers coming through are staggering, and when you stop and think about it, in just 5 years, in 2015, there will be 67 million people between the ages of 20 and 34 years old in this country. Now think about that from the demand perspective. Second thing to consider is that in the last decade, or the first decade of this century, we had the highest rate of legal immigration in our country's history. People thought we closed the doors after 9/11. We did not. We had a very strong legal immigration throughout the decade. Immigrants rent for a long, long time. And the third piece is household formation itself. And not many people know today that 1 out of 4 households today is a married couple with children. You think about our housing policy from World War II on was all oriented to the married couple with children, the white picket fence in the suburbs, and so on. That number drops to 1 in 5 households by 2020. So we have to be mindful of where the drivers are coming from. And it's single heads of households, it's singles, it's unrelateds living together. All this will be driving demand in different ways, and people are going to be looking for lots of different housing choices. It will favor multifamily going forward.
And if the demand drivers are looking so good, how does that stack up to where supply is?
We had the lowest level of starts in multi-housing of 99,000 in 2009. That's the lowest level in some 40 years since we've been measuring the starts in multifamily. We're looking at probably even a lower number for 2010. So that, those two taken together, we had roughly 129,000 completions in 2009. It will go lower in 2010. So we have potentially a looming supply shortage coming right when you're going to have a bulge of demand coming in. So I think we're going to see, if we didn't have the dislocation and the spillover from the single-family housing market, we would be bragging about our fundamentals even more so. But it's a very attractive demand picture and a very attractive supply picture.
Great. Thanks very much, Doug. For REIT.com, I'm Matt Bishar.